Hey, church family, Pastor Bruce here. I'm with Marcus Hayes, our Hendersonville Campus Pastor. He's been with us from Dallas, Texas for about 3 years, been on our senior team for 3 years, got a beautiful wife and daughters, and we're going to have the conversation today for a bit on race, all right? So go ahead, and it's fine to get a little nervous. It's good to have these conversations. Marcus, I've learned a lot from you over the last few years, and it'll be good to discuss, but it's been a great 3 years, my friend, and look forward to conversing a little bit. If you would, share a little bit about your background, then we'll kind of jump into the other questions.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Obviously, no secret, this interview is on race. I'm an African-American male, you're a white guy. Shocking, startling. So anyway, born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Your two older sisters, we all had different fathers, so it kind of tells you a little bit about the home growing up. We kind of transitioned from Grand Rapids to California, Oakland, California. Played a lot of football to keep myself out of trouble.
Sure.
But then found myself kind of just really being almost like a pattern, if you will, of the culture in which I was in.
When the litany of incidents that have come up, obviously historically, but even the last 3 or 4 years, from Ferguson to Dallas to Baltimore to you name it, when you see those, and they've become, unfortunately, amazingly regular in our country,
Right.
Are there any particular either feelings or thoughts that have immediately go through your mind that you're like, every time this happens, this comes up?
Yeah, I think one of the key things is when you see this on the airways is it triggers a natural fear because of the reality of me being an African-American male living in America, and you got these hashtags, somebody's name. Well, the reality, it could be hashtag Marcus Hayes. Right. And so, but when I see those, you have the fear deal, you get a sense of anger.
Like here in Western North Carolina, we are diverse in many ways, whether it be lifestyles or whether it be backgrounds or whatever the case may be. We are not particularly, especially from where you came from and me coming from Houston, we are not diverse racially. We're about 80% white, 10% African American, and 10% Hispanic, roughly. Question: what do you think are some of the most important things for, I'll just call them the majority culture, at least just to be aware of?
I would say, words. I mean, we think of that as kind of, hey, your folk or your type.
Yep.
I think that's a crucial thing when it comes to the majority identifying or even trying to relate to the minority. I think just a key thing is listening. You do as well. I mean, not just say, hey, Marcus, I'd love to just hear your story.
Right.
Okay, that for somebody of another culture, that signifies or even declares or kind of yells out, hey, look, I care about your culture enough to listen and hear from you. The things that are not helpful, because of this has been such a common thing going on in our culture, people begin to voice themselves on situations that they truly don't have full backdrop on, because just because you have a little bit of knowledge on a circumstance doesn't make you an expert. Things, just having a preconceived notions. In other words, if you see me coming around the corner with my wife is going, well, how did that guy wind up with that girl, or locking your door? I mean, just trying to give people the benefit of the doubt before you stereotype them and put them in a framework.
Now that you have a biracial marriage, I was telling you earlier that just in the study this morning, how some of the laws didn't come off the books in some states about even allowing that legally until as recently, I know one state, not to be determined, Alabama, but it was 2000, year 2000 is still on the books. That was not even legal.
For me, it was a journey, man. So, really all that African-American. So that was my paradigm. It was my upbringing. God had begun to change my heart. And change my perspective. And so I saw Mandy and I said, man, that's my queen right there. So the rest is history, man. The rest is history.
We talked a bunch about the goal is not color blindness, it's color engaging. In other words, appreciating the distinctives without either stereotyping or obviously looking down on one culture versus another. But you've talked about that a lot since we've begun having conversations about not color blindness, but color engaging. A couple of thoughts on that.
What's your reference point? Is it your upbringing? Is it your Uncle Johnny? Is it what is it? And so hopefully so, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, your reference point will always be the death, burial, and resurrection of our Savior Jesus.
Marcus, love you, respect you.
Appreciate
Thank you for sharing some of your life today.
You got it, man. Hey, I'm digging them Jordans too, by the way.
Thank you, man.
You're crossing over.
I'm crossing
over.
Let's do
that thing.
All right.
All right.